Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads, and this is day one of my 1 week, one shelf challenge that I want to do in the month of August. And it's not just 1 week, one shelf. I also am going to be daily vlogging, which I'm a little worried about for the first couple of days because I'll be on a cruise on the first day of August, and then we're coming back, and then I have to go directly to a wedding, and I've got so many things coming up right at the start of August. I did this last year where actually I almost daily vlogged the whole summer, but for the month of June, I did 1 week, one shelf. And of course, there are other booktubers who have done 1 week, one shelf, but I was inspired by Paige, who was inspired by someone else. But I'm gonna link Paige's channel down below, including the person that she was inspired by, that I didn't get a chance to look that up yet because I'm trying to get this done quickly before we leave for our cruise, because we are leaving tomorrow morning and we have like 20 million things to do, and I gotta get this edited and up, well, ready for you so it comes out on the 1st. This time around, I'm gonna do my 1 week, one shelf a little bit differently, because last time around, I randomized my shelves, and then I randomized the books that were on the shelf. So I had to pick whatever book it randomized to. And this is fun. I love doing it that way. It's very chaotic. But I was also thinking, I have so many things I need to do, plus TBR Trail is gonna be coming up. Of course, every month we do TBR Trail, and I don't get a choice into what those prompts are, and I wanna make sure I can make everything work. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm gonna randomize my shelves, so I won't get to choose what shelf the books come off of. But when I choose the book, it has to do with some challenge that I'm currently doing, be that 45 before 45, or HRCYED, or my scratch off calendar, or TBR Trail, which we'll find out what that is on the 3rd, what those prompts are. The goal is to have a random shelf, but then I get to choose from that shelf throughout that whole week. And knowing me, at the most, I will get one book finished, maybe, and then start another book. I can't even be sure I will get that first book finished, but at least it gives me a chance to have fun picking random books off my shelves, kind of almost mood reading this time around, because once I get to that shelf, I have to pick something, and I'm gonna try and link it to my challenges. I also get a chance to kind of go, oh, I wanna read this right now. And for the daily vlogging, I just had so much fun daily vlogging last year. I did it in June, I did it in July. I kind of fell off of that in August because that was already more than I was planning on doing. As is true for last year, I prefer to put the video out 1 day in arrears because it's hard to like stay up till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. every single night editing the vlog for that day and then having to start the next day all over again. So I like to be able to finish out my whole day, especially because a lot of times I read before going to sleep. And so a lot of my reading actually gets accomplished right before going to sleep. And so it would be nice to like finish out my whole day, day 1, and then I edit it on day 2 and it'll go out on day 3. Yeah. Is that how I did it before? But I will be doing one vlog for every single day, unless something happens and I absolutely cannot make it work and I have to combine a couple of days, which hopefully I don't have to do that. But every once in a while, things happen. So without further ado, let's find out what my very first book is gonna be. Okay, so before we find out what shelf I'm going to be reading from first in my first week, let's actually look at what my shelves look like. And they're not completely organized fully, so just beware of that. And I do have like books that should be on certain shelves and aren't on certain shelves yet. And so if I get that shelf, I'm gonna include those books that would normally be on that shelf. Like new books that I got, like say I got a whole bunch of new romance books, books that I've taken out for various reasons that aren't on my TBR cart. I will include those in the books that I need to look at when I look at the shelf that ends up getting picked. Okay, so my first shelf. Shelf number 1 is this, my 5 Senses book box shelf. And I kind of don't hope I get this one because at least at first I'll be on my trip, and this one requires me to do 5 senses or enjoy the aspects of the 5 senses of these book boxes. So shelf number 2 is this shelf, which is mostly middle grade. There's some YA, and then there is a section here that is fiction, which of course when I consider my fiction, I consider contemporary fiction, not romance necessarily, maybe have romance aspect to it, but contemporary fiction, historical fiction, or literary fiction. So I've got that section there. And then section 3 is all fiction, and it can be YA or adult fiction. So that's this shelf, shelf number 3. Shelf number 4 is a continuation of my fiction section because I have so many fiction books. And then all my classics, what I would consider classics, and that goes all the way over to here. And there are some that I probably won't necessarily read, but like you know, I probably won't do the Shakespeare annotations, but there are a lot of classics on here I need to read. And then I've got a couple of books that, like, I'm currently working on these two, and I would consider those part of the shelf at this point. These ones I took out, they're a continuation of series of sci-fi because Mom's reading this series at the moment. So they're just sitting there. I'm not going to count these. Okay, down here is where I think things get messy and I haven't organized in a while. Yeah, yikes. Okay, so this whole shelf right here, shelf number 5, is all my nonfiction. And I have a lot of books in here, including a lot of new books that I got. So that's a very unorganized shelf. Down here is my sci-fi shelf, which is also fairly unorganized. What happened there? How'd you get down there? But yeah, I've got a lot of books that are not organized here. Did I say that that's shelf number 6? I think so. Shelf number 6. This is shelf number 7, which starts my many, many fantasy shelves. So shelf number 7 has all paperbacks on it. And there's books back here, as well as books back there. These are all books I have not read. All the shelves I'm showing you are books I have not read. Shelf number 8, more paperback, but larger paperbacks. Shelf number 9, we start getting some of my hardbacks here. Shelf 10, all hardbacks, still fantasy. Shelf 11, this would be a scary one to get because these are some of my bigger fantasies, including some series that I'm not ready to start yet, but you know, you never know what's going to happen. Down here, and everything is in the way. Sorry, y'all, but this is where we put stuff when we're trying to clean off the table. Down here are books that were either lent to me. Oh, there goes something. Or they're books for projects. So, yeah, I've got a lot of projects on here, which would be nice because then it would help me work on projects that I have. Then this first shelf is, and I'm going to include this in this shelf. Oh, what shelf is this now? Hold on. I already lost count. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13 is mystery, thriller, horror. Down here we got 14, and this has more horror, thriller, mystery. This is shelf 15, and this has Stephen King and then romance. So that is that shelf. Shelf 16 down here is all romance, and there is some romance back here. I'm not going to be reading Abby Jimenez yet because that's for... Oh, unless I get that, because that would actually work for August, because I have to start reading that series in August. And then 17 is my TBR cart. And I do have one book down here on my TBR cart that I would need to read, but I've got a lot of books on here. And these are all books that have been on recent TBRs, also for projects, books that I need to get to for various reasons, books you've recommended. So there's a lot of good options here as well. Okay, so those are my 17 shelves. Let's find out the first shelf I'm going to be pulling from for week 1 of my 1 week 1 shelf challenge. So I did 1 through 17 on the random number generator, and isn't that the one I said I didn't want to get? Of course it is. We're going to go over look at that shelf. I don't know anymore what's on it exactly, and so I don't know if any of the things on there will help complete any of the things that I want to complete, but let's find out. Oh, I also just thought, because I'm not doing a TBR exclusively in August, it might be a good idea for me to find out what HRCYED prompt I'm going to be focusing on in the month of August, because I said I was going to spin the wheel once every month. And so I spun the wheel, and this will help me decide how I want to approach my shelves. And I ended up getting Series Staircase, which I think will work because I'm going to show you what I got on that shelf. Okay, so here's this really dusty shelf. And right here I've got The Heart Principle, which is not the first book in a series. And I haven't read the other books in that series. I've also got The Charm Offensive, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, Beasts of a Little Lamb, nope, Land, We Are Not Like Them, Soulmate Equation, which I know is part of a series, Dial A for Aunties, which is a part of a series, and Weather Girl. I don't think that's part of a series. I think that's a standalone. So I'm thinking I'm really interested in reading this, and it's a duology. And I already know what series I'm going to do for Series Staircase. It's the Abby Jimenez Part of Your World series. But I was thinking this for sure is only going to ever have 2 books, I think. It Happened One Summer and then the next one in the series. So I could start with this one. I think there might be other ones here that this might be a duology. I know this is a trilogy. This is a duology. I don't know how many are in this series. But there also are probably going to be some standalones here. I'm pretty sure that's a standalone. This might be a standalone. I don't know for sure. I think that's a standalone. And I do need to read one standalone. So what I might start with is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, because that might be the duology I want to read for my series Staircase. And then read one of the other books that would be a standalone if I finish It Happened One Summer. It doesn't always happen that I finish more than one normal sized book in a week. So that's a possibility, and I think that I want to start with the Tessa Bailey one. I think that's one I'm most interested in reading at the moment, like right now, and then I'll be starting this book on my cruise, and that feels like a vacation-y sort of book. Okay, so here's the book and the book box. I'm not going to go through the book box completely with you until I start doing the vlogging, but I just wanted to show you the book. It's set in Westport, Washington, which sounds like it's a little small town. Granted, it's not Alaska where I'm going to be on my cruise, but it's Washington where I live and where I'll be spending the rest of that week. So I think this is a perfect choice. I'm really excited about it, and it will work towards HRCYED. I wonder if it'll work towards anything else. I've got to figure out what else it'll work towards for HRCYED, and I'll figure that out. But I'm wondering if it'll work for any other kind of challenges that I'm planning on doing or that I need to do. It helps to get some of my 5 Senses book boxes actually read, because a lot of those I've had for well over a year, 2 years, maybe well over 3 years. Like I've had them for, I think I started getting them towards the beginning of being on BookTube. I just double checked. I got that book box on July 2021. So it has been 4 years. I've had that book box for 4 years. It's time. So I will be starting that one out on the very first day of August, and I can't wait to see how I like it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed this book. I know it's a very popular series, and I know that a lot of people did love it. I haven't actually watched Schitt's Creek myself, so I know that this book was based off Schitt's Creek, or at least it's fan fiction for Schitt's Creek. So maybe it'll encourage me to watch that show.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, early in the morning.
Okay, so it is August 1st, and we are on the cruise ship. It's our last full day at sea, well, our last full day on the cruise ship, and we're going to be at sea all day, so that may be a good thing for getting some of It Happened One Summer done by Tessa Bailey. I'm currently reading another book for another vlog, but I'm gonna now start prioritizing this one because this is my first book from One Week, One Shelf. And I'm not gonna go over the 5 Senses part of this until I get back, because I didn't bring any of that stuff with me on this cruise. So once I get back home, I'll start trying to do all the stuff from the 5 Senses aspect of it and see if it enhances my experience reading this, and take you along on my final day along the cruise ship. We have a couple of fun things we're hoping to see/do, and yeah, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into right before we get off the ship. Jordan's book's giving her some feelings. We're having to pack up. End of the trip is near. There's Jordan. And there's mine. And that's my appetizer.
And okay, so it was about that, but it was also about the reporter who broke something.
today was our last day of the cruise, and so I didn't actually end up getting very much read of this. I read like 6 pages. I am going to probably read a little bit before I go to sleep because at the moment I'm not that sleepy, but the last few nights when I've read before falling asleep, I've actually been going to sleep pretty quickly. So hopefully I can make a little bit of a dent. But we do have to get up super, super early tomorrow morning, which is a bummer. But it has to happen because we got to go back home. And today I didn't get a chance to read because I was trying to do other things, including working on a project that you'll get to see at some point soon. And we went and saw the final dance performance. We went to dinner. It was so good. It was a really nice dinner. And we just got to spend time watching the sunset, enjoying each other's company. We're going to miss the cruise, but I think we're all excited to get back to our fur babies as well. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like bittersweet. For now, I'm going to say that day 1 is done. I will give you an update tomorrow if I end up reading some of this before falling asleep. Good morning, it's day 2, and we are getting ready to get off the boat. So I did read a teeny bit of this last night, and then I fell asleep. Let's see, how many pages did I read? Oh, I got to page 12, so I read another 6 pages. So maybe later on today, I'll get a chance to read a little bit more. Chances are not high, because I have to go to a wedding, and then we gotta do other fun stuff. So we'll see. I'll show you all the things I can show you, and day 2 may just be a bit of a loss reading-wise. Hour-long border crossing. Okay, so we officially made it home. I had to do some finagling getting the luggage moved around because Mom is taking Shell and our friend Joan to the airport, to Seattle, because I've got a wedding to go to this afternoon. So that starts around 4, and luckily I know what I have to do now. I haven't even looked up the information. So today I figured out, okay, it's dressy casual, and I don't have that much that I need to worry about. Dressy casual is nice because I can just wear a nice dress, and I don't have to stress about anything. So now I'm gonna go pick up the baby, Cece. We saw like a picture of her and we FaceTimed with her a little bit, and she was a little low, a little sad, because as much as she loves Char, she just adores Char and she loves the other dogs, she just hates when Mom and I are gone. So I'm gonna go pick up the baby and hopefully she'll be happy. And I already got to give Isaac some lovin', so he was purring and just enjoying that. And then I'm coming back and getting ready. So that's my day so far. We sat in that border crossing line for at least an hour, probably about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. So it was a long border crossing. And then we did get coffee and Timbits and some stuff from Tim Hortons so that we could hold over until, well, at least Shell and Joan and Mom till they get to the airport. And I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance to read. I do have some videos I want to work on, so I might work on that a little bit before I head to the wedding, but we'll see what I actually have time for. Isaac, are you happy that we're home? What do you think? Are you happy? What do you think about it, huh? He likes it. Yeah, he likes it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see what Cece thinks. She hates the camera. What do you think, baby? Huh? What do you think? Are you happy that we're home? Oh, the baby. Oh, the baby. She's happy, but Mom isn't home yet, so she's also sad. So she's like, I'm home. I'm happy about that. But where's Mom? Where's Mom? She'll be home soon, Cece. She'll be home soon. So I had a really good time at the wedding. It was lovely. Got a chance to dance. The food was fantastic. Caught up with an old friend I haven't seen in a while. And of course, celebrating my 2 wonderful friends who have a very strong foundation to this great relationship that they have built for a while now. And just happy to see them come together, become life partners. They're very deserving. So it was a wonderful time. And I did not get a chance to do any reading today between all the driving, between the getting ready for the wedding. I did make it a little further this morning, as I said, but not enough. So I'm going to try and read this for a little while before I go to bed because I'm still a little wired, but who knows how long that'll last. And I really got to work on getting these videos out to you. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens day 3. And hopefully there'll be some reading involved, although I think I'll be doing a lot of video editing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.